former talent for the Toowoomba team. All right, everybody, welcome to Clive Berghofer Arena in Toowoomba as Live Sport Australia and Nothing But Net Media present to you the Toowoomba Mountaineers versus the Rockhampton Rockets. I'm John Guarna, and I'm joined tonight by my co-commentators Dave Derwin and Dan George. Guys, pretty good trip over the range. Should be a pretty good game of hoops.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, definitely. And Toowoomba's first home game of the season, so you'd expect them to have heaps of energy, and they were so impressive last week at Logan. Look forward to seeing how they bring that back to their home floor tonight.
Yeah, great to be here, Johnny, with you guys in the first game we've ever done in Toowoomba. So that's always a good effort to get out there and try and grow the game and get access to these local teams.
Toowoomba had that big win like we covered last week over Logan. Guys, they come in with a lot of confidence. What are you expecting to see out of the Mountaineers, Dave, after they back up over that big win over Logan?
Yeah, I mean, Abdul Bassett was huge, 34 points, 8 threes. Jay Washington did a good job, 19 points, 5 assists, sharing the ball, penetrating. And then you had the front line of Malik and Alir were great. So, you know, really good numbers from their starting five. And I think that obviously their strength is their starting five. And so that's the challenge is week in, week out, can they keep it up?
Dan, your thoughts?
Well, I agree. I think you touched on everything, Dave. Abdul Bassett has to be a scorer, obviously, for them. That's what he's here to do. But the key for me is in their point guard play. If they can control the tempo like they did last week, and Jay Washington, I thought, was great at controlling that. If he can do that, I think that will help a lot. And secondly, these big fellas, Alir and Malik, have to control the backboard for Toowoomba. If they can control that, get on the defensive glass, and Jay Washington controls the tempo, I think they'll be all right tonight.
Yeah, we don't know too much about the Rockhampton Rockets. Traditionally a very strong team coming down with big imports. They've gone the local route this year and gone young as well. They do have a few imports. The first time we're going to see them tonight. Dave, what are you expecting out of the Rockets?
Yeah, I think like all good new teams, you know, it's a new look roster with new pieces, and so Coach Tweedy's been around. It's how he integrates those. And again, you know, what kind of imports does he get? Normally he's got a pretty good track record of getting some studs. I certainly hope that he's got a couple of studs, as does Thunder.
Well, I had a really brief chat to him before the game, and I think one of their studs imports is out, and they've got a short-term replacement import here. So they've got the 2 Americans, but not the 2 they thought they'd have. But I think you're right, with a young group like they've got, they'll go as far as their Americans take them this year. So lots of pressure on them and expectation to carry the load.
Yeah, and Mitchell's obviously come down as well. And he was great last week, 15, 14 and 8, you know, and he was solid and obviously a big piece of that Cairns championship team last year.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game tonight. We're just set for the tip, guys. Quick predictions, Dave.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real tight one. I think both teams have good starting fives, and that's where it ends, so without being disrespectful. So really it's who can control the pace, who can minimise the turnovers. And again, last week, like Dan was talking about, great activity from the front line between Malik and Alir. They only got 1 block shot between them, but they certainly challenged probably 25 because Logan was spooked all night.
Yeah, well, Mitch Young didn't have anything to do with them by the end of the game. They were just so active. So I think if they control the backboard, I think Toowoomba by 11 is my pick.
All right. Well, it's going to be a battle. It's definitely going to be a battle on the glass. We'll see if the big guys from Toowoomba can maintain that pressure on the backboard as they did last week versus Logan. A lot of action on the court before the game here. Got to give a big plug to John. He had the pregame interview with me. That put me on the spot there.
Yeah.
Good thing I could flap my lips, hey?
Sure. bit of a ceremonial jump ball.
And we are here at Clive Berghofer Arena, so thanks to the Toowoomba Mountaineers sponsors.
We got the Toowoomba hype man.
What better plug for our live stream than what you just heard just then?
Well, let's see what happens. It's going to be
Paul. We should bring him everywhere.
We should bring him here everywhere. I don't know if he'll leave Toowoomba. That's the only question.
Yeah, he's a quality, long-term, loyal Toowoomba Mountaineer man.
I'm tempted to give him my headset and just see what he comes up with.
Well, the Toowoomba Mountaineers are going to control the first possession here as Paul Alir skied for that opening tip. Let's see if Toowoomba can get on the board here early.
Well, let's see what they run to, guys, I think. And Abdul Bassett opens up with a 3. You want him to have plenty of looks. But let's see how disciplined they are, how structured their offense is. especially these first few minutes.
I don't think anyone but Jalil Abdul-Bassett was getting that first shot. Christensen with the up and under, flips it in. That's the first points of the night. Excuse me, that's Dave Wagner with the bucket. Goes right at Aaliyah.
Yeah, well, he's a big body, and I think, again, if he pounds into Aaliyah all night long, that could be a tough assignment for him.
Good look inside, and the foul for Paul Aaliyah. Jalil Abdul-Bassett with the creativity there. Dan, we said he's got to score, but he can create as well.
Well, he's going to draw all the attention, and if he comes out taking contested shots, I'm not sure that's going to help him long term. But if he can do that by getting these bigs involved, that creates open looks for him later on.
Lear's going to go to the line for the three-point play opportunity. Misses.
I did tell Paul that I expect more.
And there he is.
I gave him the pump up at halftime last week. He comes back, led the boys, did a good job. So I said, I need the same thing, but you need to start from the first tip, mate.
And he's heeded your warnings. He's got the steal on the other end. All 4 points also for Toowoomba. Washington looking for that roll, man. It's not there. Hands off for Abdul-Bassett. Who fires the three? That's off. Tipped by Aaliyah and saved. Nearly stolen. Washington, good look inside for Aaliyah.
But I think Washington's got to shoot that three, though. He's wide open.
Malik's going to fire a deep one. That's good for three. Toowoomba started on fire. They're up 5.
And if you want to talk about, again, defensive assignments, I guess that's possibly a knock on Washington is his shot. And again, as they progress this year, he needs to shoot that. I mean, there wasn't a guy within 3 meters of him.
Yeah, unfortunately on the other end for Rocky, they turned the ball over. But Washington, they're going to challenge him to shoot. We saw it at the free throw line. We didn't see him take many jump shots last week.
No.
It's not a high arcing shot. It's quite flat and low, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's not a big guy, so.
Well, and he may not shoot the greatest percentage, but I agree, Dave. You just got to take that shot just to keep the defense honest.
Yeah. Same thing with Malik. I think he needs to work on his screen roll game and present himself a bit better. He hands it down a fair bit, and that's maybe a bit of experience.
Leo was looking for Weber. He wasn't ready for it. That's a turnover. That's why the bigs don't throw no-look passes.
Yeah.
Bigs have to look. Speaking from experience, you got to look where you're passing or it's a turnover. But
yeah. I
like the activity from these young bigs. Said in the pregame, if they can be active, that's going to go a long way to helping Toowoomba, not just tonight, but for the rest of the season. And you're going to expect some mistakes from young players like we just saw. But if they can be this active and this energetic and this passionate about what they're doing, it's going to help them a lot.
I think, offensively, he has to present himself, right? He's got to get his mitts up as a big guy and demand the ball, right?
Mitchell takes the fadeaway and hits it. That's a tough shot there from Jimmy Mitchell. Going to your left, fading away, and hitting the right-handed jump shot.
Yeah, almost a triple-double last week. So, he's in form and looking to lead this group.
Good look inside. Malik reverse layup is good. Washington is dangerous once he gets his feet in the paint. Wagner going right at Malik. Excuse me, that's Aaliyah. Weber with the steal, though. He's pushing it up court. Washington with the nice touch pass. Malik misses the layup. Watt comes down with it. Gotta like the aggressive play, though. Nice transition opportunity. But no D-trans the other way, and Dave Wagner makes him pay. 9-6 the lead here for Toowoomba. About 7 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Abdul-Bassett looking to get his first bucket. That's short. Weber can't track it down.
Yeah, see, I don't think that's a great shot. I think that's a bit forced. I mean, you're 8 seconds into the clock at best. Coming off a fairly plain look.
I think that's the kind of shot that is a great shot when you've just hit 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Toowoomba get everyone touches, get through the offense, get some ball reversals, make Rocky work on D. Because we spoke in the pregame, they're not as deep as they may have been in the past, Rockhampton. So make them play 15, 16 seconds of defense, unless you're wide open, which Abdul-Bassett was not on that occasion.
Yeah.
That foul is going to go on Jalil Abdul-Bassett on the other end.
Well, that's his second. Even though the score bench held up, it's his 4th, which I was a bit alarmed at myself. But they've corrected it. I think it's his second. Is that what they've given him?
That's a bad sign for Toowoomba if it is his second.
That's what she held up. But
I'm only
two team fouls,
it is
both to him. That's correct. Yep.
Watt at the free throw line, misses the free throw attempt though. Gee, those boys can sky.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're getting every ball near the rim.
Washington double team, splits it.
Nice
Malik.
pass.
It's a great pass. He shuffled his feet, though. Good call. Another turnover there from Manilok Malik.
That was close. I don't know.
I thought it was a good call. I definitely thought
Yeah.
his feet were a bit quick, but
A
good
little-
action from Toowoomba. But like we said last week, if they can keep their turnovers down, that'll help them a lot as well.
And Washington looking to pressure Leon Christensen. Christensen bullying his way to the bucket and gets the friendly roll.
Yeah, good bucket. Nice aggressive take.
Washington now gets in the paint. Good look inside. Malik again flips it up and in.
See, Rockhampton, they're calling out blue, which on the side on ball, they're trying to push the big guy, drop down and push Jay Washington to the baseline. If they're running that, and that's how the defense is set, when you let him go over the top, it opens up the whole floor. So lack of execution defensively for Rocky. They've got to clean that up.
And Toowoomba is getting whatever they want, really, on the offensive end.
Yeah, and equally though, Rocky just runs a pretty simple cut for Mitchell, gets all the way to the rim, misses the shot.
And you see Mitchell, no way, it's all ball. But you saw a more experienced defender. You could see him turn his body and push him down towards where the big was.
Yeah.
Whereas on the previous possession, they didn't do that. And anyone who gets their feet in the paint, it's going to be trouble for any defensive team.
Substitutions for Rockhampton. Damon Christensen checks in, as does Taylor Young.
Bit of a brotherly sub there, huh?
Yeah, Christensen for Christensen. Oh. Washington with a nice crossover. Lear with the teardrop.
Jay Washington looking at the rookie bench too. You know what, if I'm Coach Twitty, just go under every Jay Washington on ball. If he starts hitting threes, good luck to him. But pushing down, show and recover, so far it's not working.
Yeah. There hasn't been a whole lot of resistance defensively from either team so far.
Yeah, block shot there, but Watt follows it.
The block shot as soon as I opened my mouth.
Well, you got into Paul Lear's ear last week, and maybe he remembered.
Good.
Abdul Bassett puts it on the deck, throws up the alley-oop. Malik comes down with it, back to Lear. He'll float her up. That's off. Gets his own rebound, puts it back up and in.
Well, Rocky's a bit lethargic defensively, aren't they? I mean, they're not competing, they're not scrapping. Rebounding effort looks a bit poor, so to speak.
And Washington pressuring the ball here as well.
And that's one of the challenges of our league, I think. And it's not an excuse, but it's a long day when you fly from Rocky to Brizzy, get on a bus and drive to Toowoomba. But you've got to manufacture that energy somehow, Dave, I agree.
Yeah.
Good cut. Mitchell's trying to get his team going. Rockhampton bench and James Mitchell were looking for the foul there, and then Christensen picks one up for Rockhampton.
I think you gauge the player, Johnny, and James doesn't look too upset. So I think it must have been a pretty clean strip.
Hey, Jimmy Mitchell's pretty cool, calm, and collected character, though, coming from North Queensland. You know, those North Queenslanders are pretty laid-back fellas.
Yeah, but I think it was a good D. Look clean from here. And again, that's the second time Toowoomba individually moved their feet well and stayed in front of their guy.
Abdul Bassett checks out. Ebner checks in, and right away we see a turnover there from Jay Washington.
Yeah, I mean, Weber didn't even look like he was playing just then. Get your hands up.
Get ready. You know Washington's going to find you if you're open. Now Wagner has it for Rockhampton. 15-12 the lead. Just under 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Young has it now. He's going to put it on the deck. 5-4 on the shot clock. Pass inside is tipped. It goes out of bounds with 1 second to go on the shot clock.
Yeah, again, another deflection from Aaliyah being active under the bucket. Rocky being a bit more patient there. They're trying to look to get Mitchell on a post-up, I think, against Ebner is where they believe the mismatch is.
Washington now looking for the screen. He goes away from it. Hands off for Malik, who recovers out to Washington. See, I thought there he might want to take that shot. Instead, he gets his feet in the paint. It's stripped and stolen. Mitchell screaming down the court the other way, and he's fouled by Ebner.
Good hands from Christensen to strip him.
And I want to thank our sponsors for tonight's broadcast, GDI Property Group, bringing this Toowoomba Mountaineers Rockhampton Rockets live stream to you. Now Christensen going to reset here. Young going to fire a three. That rattles off the back of the rim. Winds up with Christensen. Foul line jump shot is strong as well. So Rocky's getting some decent looks here. They just haven't been able to hit too many shots so far on the night. So here's a fast break opportunity. Christensen gets the pass and finishes. So 15-14 the lead now.
Yeah, what's interesting, fellas, sorry, Dave, like you just get the feeling that Toowoomba's probably had the edge, but it's a one-point game. Got to give credit to Rocky for hanging in and just being tough, but hopefully Toowoomba can execute like they are in this possession. When we talk about execution, Jay Washington, I mean, great finish, first of all. I mean, that dude skies to the ceiling of this gym and puts it down with authority, but when Jay Washington gets his feet in the paint, it's just bad news for the defender. We saw it last week at Logan. We're seeing it again tonight. I think just sag him off, go under on balls, play him to shoot jump shots.
Young gets called for the offensive foul. Good defense there by Cameron Weber.
No, I was just going to say, Thunder, that again, back-to-back turnovers from Toowoomba just then, and Paul Lear obviously stops the rock with the dunk. But again, the Christensen brothers, if that's going to be the point guard combination of the night, they need to do a better job too, right? Like Jay's looking to penetrate and get his feet in there and then dish. So you need to make an adjustment defensively and go, cool, we don't need to overhelp here. We just got to stay in front, contain, and then instead of making Malik and Alir giving them 8-foot jump shots and skyhooks all night long.
Gonna have to work for it.
They got to make an adjustment as well.
Rocky going inside to the paint. Wagner works his way to the bucket and lays it in.
Well, he's going to try and bully ball all night long, which has been a pretty clear strategy so forth. And he's probably got the inexperienced Davis now, and that'll be maybe a tough guard for him.
Pass tipped out of bounds there by Trevor Corrigan, so it's going to stay with Toowoomba with 12 seconds to go on the shot clock. This is where Toowoomba, if they want to be a playoff finals team, they need to perform on the court without an Alir and without an Abdul Bassett. The bench guys need to produce points, or they have to score with the bench on the floor. As Washington steps up and drains the three.
Well, Rocky's gone to the zone on that possession, and Jay Washington goes, not going to guard me, I'll bang it in your head.
Well, that's in my face. I've just said for the last 10 minutes of the game, go under on balls and play him to shoot it. So he obviously shows he's more than capable to knock it down, and I'd like to see him take that shot more often.
Malik saves it out of bounds.
Great
and
save.
Somehow Marty Nolan comes up with it. Let's see if Nolan can capitalize. He's open for three.
Nice little
wet.
run. Nice little run here from the Mountaineers.
23-16, 7-point lead with under a minute to go now.
Good job of trying to close out this quarter with just some effort stuff. Great save from Malik off the strip from Washington.
Christensen
Another opportunity to bust out here in transition.
Let's see if what Ebner does. Gets it, smart play to his point guard, Jay Washington. He's going to work a little clock here. Thought he might go for a 2-for-1. Kicks it out. Ebner is going to take a three. That's strong. Didn't like that shot, Dan.
Nice shot. He just he's had a rough start to the season, I think.
I think if you're open, you have to shoot it.
It's a good shot.
I mean, a good shooter is going to start falling eventually.
Good block on the other end by Mitch Davis. Christensen inbounds for Mitchell. Good baseline spin.
Nice
Wagner,
pass.
can he step out and hit the three? It's too strong. Davis, though, tips it out of bounds. Rocky going to maintain.
I thought Davis was really good last week in his limited minutes.
Yeah.
Struggling to make the same impact tonight. This way he's got to come out, get 2 or 3 boards, just be a great defender. Johnny, to your point, if they're going to be a serious contender this year, they need those sort of performances while their guns are on the bench.
Mitchell's fouled on his way to the bucket. They're going to give him 2 shots. He definitely picked up his dribble, so.
Yeah, Davis did a good job last week. He obviously had to guard the pretty experienced post as an import. And he had 4 quick fouls, but again, good activity.
Good energy.
A couple shots,
That's all you can ask for.
Plugged the
You'd almost get
middle.
Abdul Bassett. I know he's got 2 fouls, but 5 seconds, last possession. What would you do here, Dave?
Yeah, I mean,
bring him back in for an offensive possession?
Absolutely, quickly sub him back in on this dead ball here.
Mitchell hits 1 of 2. Let's see if Washington gets one up with 3 seconds on the clock. Crossover to his left, flips it up. It's a bit wild, but Toowoomba would be happy heading into the quarter time break. Up 6, 23-17. Guys, quick thoughts on the first quarter action.
Well, I'm looking forward to this crowd getting more involved as well. I think I say that with all respect. Sorry, Dave, if you could see his reaction. They're ready to burst here, I think. And I think their team's showing some great signs. But Rocky equally doing a great job of being scrappy and hanging in. So positives for both teams so far.
Dave, quick ones?
Yeah, I think Rocky's getting into their groove. They look a little flat to Dan's point before. That you've got to manufacture energy on the road. They got a double header, obviously. But they need to try and get a bit more energy in this second quarter, I think.
Let's see if that break helps them. It's a 23-17 lead for Toowoomba over Rockhampton at the quarter time break. We'll be back with second quarter action here on Live Sport Australia via Nothing But Net Media.
We have 1,700 staff at USQ, and I think that as a workplace we have an important role in having conversations with our staff so that they then take those conversations home. One of the biggest initiatives that we've got going at the moment is the 1 Million Stars project, where we are weaving 10,000 stars which will be displayed at the 2018 Commonwealth Games.
The display that we have here for 10,000 stars is a collaborative effort between USQ, the Toowoomba Catholic Schools and a local community group called the Star Weaving Fairies. I think it really comes down to raising awareness and looking at people reflecting as to what they can do to take a stand.
It's to promote a culture through USQ that even though there might not be a situation, you just never know if it would occur. To have our supervisors and managers aware of the process and the policies that can support staff.
Welcome back to Clive Berghofer Arena in Toowoomba as Live Sport Australia presents to you QBL action. It's 23-17 Toowoomba Mountaineers over Rockhampton Rockets. Dan, you're looking at the quarter time stats. What's jumping out to you?
Well, I'm looking for something that is jumping out, Johnny, and there's not a lot to it. Rocky 0 for 3 from deep, Toowoomba 3 for 7, so a bit of disparity there, but otherwise pretty even. Both teams are turning the ball over, Toowoomba with 5 and Rocky with 7, so I'd love to see them clean up a little bit, especially on Rockhampton's end.
And Dave, what jumps out at you at those quarter time stats?
Yeah,
Wagner drains a nice bucket in the foul.
Yeah, not a great deal. I mean, Wagner's really keeping him in the game, to be honest, with that post presence and his physicality really hurting the Toowoomba boys, and he will. I mean, he's probably got 25 kilos plus on every frontline guy in Toowoomba. But again, they need to do a better job. Use their length. They should be full fronting. Let's see if Rocky can throw a ball over the top.
Well, I think when you're a younger post player, it takes some time to learn, but
yeah,
you have to figure out that if you're going to guard someone who's bigger and heavier than you, you've got to do your work early.
Yeah.
So make him catch it off the post, get around early, use your feet, get in the passing lane. But the guards also have to make it difficult for them to make post entry.
Yeah.
Take some of the heat off your big guy, make those entry passes more difficult. So it's got to be a team effort, but I agree, Wagner so far has been the difference for Rocky hanging in versus being down 10.
Yeah, I think they need to dig a bit harder, if not quick doubles, get the ball out of his hand. He's keeping him in the game for me, so let's see what one of the other guys is going to do for Rocky.
Yeah, I think, again, Rockhampton's a bit of the unknown in the sense that we don't know with their injury replacement. We don't know what their imports are, but Wagner came back from college, I believe, over in the States. His first season up in Rockhampton, so pretty impressive player so far early. That old school game getting on the block.
No, it's great. I mean, Mitchell just picked up a second one too, so if I'm Toowoomba, I'm running my stuff right at Mitchell for the next 3 minutes, trying to get him the third and get him out of the game.
Well, it's an interesting matchup because Abdul Bass and he are going to match up on each other, both in foul trouble.
And
that shot looked ugly from we're right behind it.
I was going to say the shooter's roll, but I don't think those rims move. I mean, they are tough.
Good block again from Alir. They're going to get a foul call, though. They're going to give that one on Paul Alir. That's going to be his first personal foul.
Fellas,
I was going to say, though, Abdul Bassett, though, that was only his second bucket of the night. Toowoomba would be pretty happy with maintaining the lead and their top scorer. Really
I agree.
Quiet first quarter.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's a volume shooter. He has to be. So to be up 6 with him only barely getting going are good signs for them.
Yeah, you talked about the first quarter, Johnny. The rebounding advantage for Rocky was +5, and they got to clean up that Toowoomba 5-0 boards they've given away. If they can clean that up, then they're looking good.
Toowoomba up 5 now, 25-20. Jalil Abdul Bassett looking to get off Guarded closely by Mitchell.
I don't like the ISO game, though.
I don't know if he intended to do that. He
I don't.
turned the ball over, and then he's
Wow.
going to get called for his third personal.
That's just.
Abdul Bassett wants to stay on the floor, but Coach Corcoran knows he
Well,
can't get him out there. There's 9 minutes to go in the half. He's got 3 fouls.
Well, I would refer to that as fake hustle. Leave me out. You know you're coming out. You picked up your third foul. Doesn't matter how much begging he does. He has to come out of the game at this point. But I don't like the ISO ball that Toowoomba just showed. So with him out, maybe they're going to get back into a bit more of a flow and a bit more of the rhythm with team defense. But, fellas, I would love to see how both these teams practice on-ball defense during the week. Because so far, Jay Washington gets his feet in the paint, and we've seen on 2 possessions for Rocky, Taylor Young and now James Mitchell both just turning the corner. Rocky, Toowoomba trying to go under, but they just let the ball handler turn the corner and get to the paint. Fouled on both occasions, so it's something they've got to tidy up.
Yeah, Mitchell is doing a really good job catching that and coming off the screen and getting right into the paint.
And you got to know you got to know the personnel too. Mitchell, he's putting his head down. He wants to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim and create something. He's not coming off.
Well, let's talk about it for any young players watching. If you're going to go under, you're giving up the 3, and that guard has got to go under and sprint to the spot to get to that elbow before the ball handler does. And so far, they're not doing that.
Good block by Wagner on Washington. Christensen finds Young, spins into the paint. Now Christensen banks one home. It's a good transition bucket there for Rockhampton. They're only down 1, fellas.
Yeah, good. I mean, I like the poise from Leon Christensen. Then again, good, just set his feet. Taylor Young made a nice pass.
And Young fires a 3. It's good. And Rocky takes the lead. And Coach Anthony Corcoran seen enough. He's going to take a timeout, guys. Great timeout.
Yeah, they needed it too. They lost their ways a bit. I mean, a bit. Jaleel with his third was a silly move. And now the other thing too that I think, takes him out of the game entirely for the next half, right? Like, as in just mentally. So now all he's thinking about is, what am I doing? Bad calls, referees, blah, blah, blah. So you kind of hope that he has the maturity to come back, check when he checks in.
Well, if he's a professional, he has to come back focused.
Yeah, if he checks in this quarter, which I think he'll have to.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, switch on, run the team, be the leader.
Well, that's one thing that for Toowoomba stood out to me. It's just their lack of execution. I almost think they're trying to do too much. I was thinking, just simplify it, fellas. Just get through your sets, run your offenses, know what you're trying to get out of each possession. We saw Jay Washington penetrate. He goes into the paint against 4, flips the pass, turnover.
Yeah.
We can't have that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a bad look. It just wasn't the right play at that,
I
at
agree.
that time.
Well, he's taken on Wagner. He's not winning that battle, right? And Wagner sent his shot back.
I think what Rockhampton's doing, the adjustments we see they're making early, at least in this second quarter, packing the paint. And let Toowoomba beat you from the outside. Toowoomba outside of Abdul Bassett, who's on the bench with 3 fouls.
Yeah.
They haven't shown that they can hit an outside shot.
Yeah,
Jay Washington has to prove that he can hit 4 or 5 threes tonight.
Yeah.
Otherwise, keep packing the paint.
And that's a good strategy. I mean, they've gone back to their one defensively, or their man, sorry. And let's see what offense they're going to run.
It's going to be that screen and roll action. Ebner throws up a floater. He's fouled on his way up, though, so he's going to go to the line for a couple shots. They're going to give that one to Taylor Young.
Well, good penetration from Ebner, but probably a little bit bailed out by bad D from Young at the end, just reaching, which is just poor discipline.
Ebner misses the first one.
You don't like my poor discipline?
No, I like it.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, you come in here as an import. I mean, I want to see you.
And
I want to see you dominate, right? Let's be honest.
We talked about it on the way out to Toowoomba. There's a lot of pressure on you as an import. You gotta deliver.
I'm just laughing, Dave, at your brutal honesty, which is what sets the NBN broadcast apart from the competitors. We just call it like we see it.
Sure.
And that's Paul Lear's third foul as Wagner finishes through the contact. He's going to go to the line for a 3-point play opportunity. And Toowoomba's got a bit of foul trouble here, guys.
Well, it's I'll be honest, it's looking real ugly for Toowoomba real quick in the last few minutes. And Wagner is beasting them. And they, again, without a Lear in the game, as in if he checks out now, which
I thought it was on a Lear. They gave it to I don't know who they gave that one to.
Well, Lear still has 2 fouls, so he
Yeah.
still has to be careful. It's still an issue.
Yeah.
I just think their bigs have to start defending almost from the 3-point line. Bump Wagner, bump him off the spot that he's trying to get to. Do your defense early, and the perimeter guys, offensively especially, have to tidy things up and keep these Rocky boys out of the paint.
And that's a great play there. Nice catch by Lear and a great finger roll finish.
Yeah, you just can't beat that length.
I mean, that was a bad Washington pass that he saved.
That's much better defense on that possession. They went under the on-ball. Young Tun turned the corner. That's okay. They give up a contested 3. You can live with that.
Yeah.
Leon Christensen with that 3 there. That was a great, nice looking Jimmy.
Yeah, real fundamental. He's been really good so far. I mean, I think if you're a Toowoomba fan, you hope you can get more than dribble the ball down and chuck it for a wide 3, right? Like
Into
you're not
an air
shifting.
ball.
You're not into an air ball. You're not shifting the D. You're not getting it through hands. There's no team involvement.
Well, I know the horn set or any of these on balls is designed obviously to get. Let's see what happens here.
Malik hits the 3. He's got that in his game.
Well, they desperately needed that. But Dave, to your point, I don't care who's out there. I don't think you can come down and go dribble, one pass shot.
No, it's terrible, you know. And it's just completely selfish basketball. We talked about, over the years too. It's make the extra pass, make it from good to great, be unselfish, share the ball, involve people.
I think it's also, I wouldn't go as far as saying unselfish. I'll leave that judgment to you. I think it's more just still a young team trying to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
And they had a great win last week. Massive credit to them. But they also dropped a game at Ipswich the week before. So they're still 1-1. They're still trying to figure out how they're going to play together. So I think it comes with reps in training and just instilling some discipline and knowing that ball's got to be valued. And like we said in the first quarter, make these guys at Rockhampton play defense for 15 or 16 seconds, just grind them down.
And Coach Corcoran's going back to Jalil Abdul-Bassett. He's checked back into the game with his team down 7. And you see right away Coach Tweedy going to respond with James Mitchell checking back in because he's going to have the defensive assignment.
Well, I hope for all the Mountaineer fans' sakes, the Bassett can keep his cool, get back in the game.
Well, the officials are calling touch fouls too, so they've got to be smart out there. The refs are being consistent with it. You'd almost expect Toowoomba to fall back into a zone and just try and protect both Bassett but Paul O'Lear as well, who's got 2 fouls.
The other thing too, I think, Thunder, that what Toowoomba needs to mature, I think is probably the right word, is, what are we after down this end? Who are we trying to get the ball to? Because it kind of looks like they just chuck it around a little bit and somehow Washington to someone.
I agree.
And away we go.
That's what I'm saying. They've got to be disciplined and structured.
Let's see what Toowoomba's got here, fellas, as Washington's on the floor, on the bench. So Ebner's running the show. They're looking to go into O'Lear on the block, goes right at Wagner, flips one up and in.
Yeah, and you know what?
That's a quick rip through.
And you know what I like? Just like Wagner has an advantage on his size, he can't guard O'Lear down the other end either. O'Lear's got to go quick rips or quick face-up jump shots. He can go hook shots left and right. And you've got to stay on your feet.
Yeah, good spin move there to the bucket by Watt. And it's a 38-32 lead for Rockhampton. There's Abdul-Bassett. Little teardrop is too strong. Mitchell comes down with it. He's trying to get himself on track here.
I think Abdul-Bassett wishes this game was been played at Cornubia because he just hasn't quite got the feel of these rims yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you said earlier in the broadcast, fellas, they do look a bit stiff.
Yeah.
We need Paul O'Lear. He flushed it too hard before. He needs to respect his teammates and actually hang on the rim and loosen that bad boy up.
It does say no hanging on the rim, though, on the backboard. Thunder, so.
That's true.
Good
He's
handoff.
respectful.
There we go.
A bit too strong there again by Abdul-Bassett. Good look inside. Wagner can't finish. Good contest and rebound there by O'Lear.
On this possession here, Phil, Abdul-Bassett's got to get going for him to be a chance. And the jumper's not there. He's got to find ways to get to the rim, get some laps, get himself to the foul line.
Yeah.
Get yourself going that way.
Yeah, don't settle. I'd like to see him try and get in the paint. Goes behind his back. He's got 8 seconds to go on the shot clock. Puts O'Lear in a bad spot. He's got to flip one up. It's off. Wagner down with it. Good skip pass ahead to Blanchard. He's going right at the rim. He's swatted. by Manilok Malik, who lets him know about it.
You know what?
Respect for going for the jam, but what a block there by Malik.
I mean, give those guys 5 stars on both.
Yeah.
Blanchard, I did not expect that. That was nasty. And Malik, man, just a great contested the rim. That'll get this crowd in Toowoomba going. He took off from out deep too, fellas.
I don't know if it was a true block or if Blanchard got blocked by the rim a bit as
I don't
well.
know.
He might have taken out a step too early, but that's on the highlight reel.
But respect for going for the dunk and a great block by Malik nonetheless. Here comes Blanchard again, hands ahead to Mitchell. His pass stolen. Coach Twitty looking for the foul call. It's not there.
Get up there.
Euro step, and he's fouled on his way to the bucket. Like the big Euro step there by Paul Alier. That was quite smooth on his way to the rim.
Yeah, real nice.
There's a timeout taken on the floor, though, guys, so we'll take one as well. 3:41 to go in the first half. It's a 6-point lead for Rockhampton over Toowoomba. Game presented to you by Live Sport Australia via Nothing But Net Media. We'll be back shortly, guys.
The Not In Our Club initiative is about local sporting clubs in the Toowoomba region really banding together to raise awareness about domestic violence, to promote supporting victims, to speak out against domestic violence, and really about changing the culture in our local community.
I think sometimes sport can be seen as a macho, a real physical type of environment that we're involved in, and maybe our responses in those circumstances aren't always about kindness and awareness.
Welcome back to Clive Berghofer Arena in Toowoomba. It's a 6-point lead for Rockhampton over the Toowoomba Mountaineers, 38-32. With 3:42 to go, guys, let's take a look at some statistics here. Rockhampton shooting 58% from the field, 40% from 3. They're only 8 of 13 from the free throw line. Guys, look at Toowoomba as Alier's at the free throw line. Toowoomba hasn't hit a free throw yet tonight. They're 0 of 6 now.
Yeah, I mean, really efficient numbers from Rocky, obviously, and that's due to our man Wagner dominating in the paint. And defensively, they just need to clean it up, Toowoomba, a little bit. You know, he's getting too deep, like Dan said.
There you go.
There's Blanchard with the yam.
Great steal from Wagner, which opened it up. Blanchard to say...
He jumped off the wrong foot, fellas. He jumped off the wrong foot. That kid's got ups.
That's got
That's impressive.
Big confidence, huh?
It's impressive, yeah.
I like it. I like him attacking the rim.
Hey,
it's a good little weapon.
He climbed the mountain and he won that one.
He sure
He
did.
climbed the mountain.
Yeah.
I like it, Double D.
And here's a steal. Young streaking down the court. He'll lay it in. We're looking for the yoke on that one, but he'll take the 2 points. It's now a 9-point lead for Rocky.
You got to throw the ball into Alier here and again, attack Wagner. I mean, he's hurting you right now. So, again, go at him.
Good spin move.
Nice take.
Nice finish there by Cameron Weber. Finishing with the left.
Sorry, John. Just to that point, Dave, they're downing the on-balls on the wing. If I was Jay Washington, I am dribbling straight at Wagner's chest.
Yeah.
Make him guard you. He's going to foul you.
Well, he's got 2, so if he gets another one, he's out of the game.
Good block from behind by Abdul Bassett on Wagner there. Toowoomba looking to run. Skip pass over to Weber. He's going to fire a 3.
Woo!
That's good. Nice bucket there for Toowoomba. The lead cut to 4.
You got to love the fundamentals, Thunder, of Wagner and that American post-up, bash him up that he's bringing to the table. I love it.
And here's that zone from Toowoomba that gave Logan fits last week. Wagner steps out. He'll fire a 3. That's too strong. Alier comes down with it.
I don't know if that's outside his range, but...
It's not out of Abdul Bassett's, but that time it is. That's an air ball. He just has not been able to get on track. But Coach Tweedy doesn't like what he sees, so he's going to take a timeout. Guys, let's keep it here, and let's talk about this mini run from Toowoomba. Good starts on the defensive end, doesn't it, fellas?
Yeah, they've got a lot of some steals and some deflections, which as a coach you're always happy with, challenging blocking shots. Their transition's been good, and Weber's come alive with a couple of nice plays. And really, I think, you know, you've got to be happy because Jalil hasn't done much. And you're down 4. That's a kind of a good sign.
And equally, if you're Rocky, you've got to be a bit worried for the same reason.
Yeah.
When you're letting some of these other guys really hurt you. But I still think both teams are in decent shape. We'll see what this last couple of minutes brings. That's a big couple of minutes for both teams. I mean, Rocky don't want to go down at all at half-time, having led for most of this quarter. And equally, Toowoomba want to take it all into the break and get this crowd pumped up. So we'll just see what happens.
I think when you look at the Toowoomba boys too, if it's me, I really want to space out their bigs, right? Because they're kind of packing it a little bit. So I'd really try and space it, give Mitchell a bit more opportunity to come off those screens and on balls like he is with those Iverson cuts. And then you've got the Christensen boys, who I'd like to see put the ball on the deck and penetrate a bit more. And you know what? I want to see Blanchard smack it on someone.
Well, he tried once. Let's see if he can try it again.
Well, I want to see Blanchard take it straight back at Malik again. See if we can even up the ledger.
Well, let's see what Coach Tweedy did. They're coming out of the timeout. It's 42-38. They've got Young, Wagner, Blanchard, Mitchell, and Watt. Good handoff there. Wagner flips it up. It's tipped around. He comes back down with it. He loses it, though.
Gee, they do a great job with the active hands. Trail. Oh.
That's a great pass, though, by Washington up ahead for Weber.
That's a jinx there, Thunder. I mean, we both saw Mr. Allaire coming down. I want to see him rip the rim off.
I have a feeling we might see it at some point tonight, fellas. Maybe you need to have a chat with him again at halftime, Dave. Good ball movement here. Skip pass. It was a risky one. Blanchard, though, loses it off his leg out of bounds. Minute 10 to go now in the half. It's a 2-point lead for Rockhampton.
Yeah, 10th turnover then of the half for Rocky, and I think it's because, again, of the energy and activity of Malik just then. Pressuring the pass.
Here's Abdul Bassett again, looking to step back and fire a deep one. That's good. You only need one to get on track if you're Jalil Abdul Bassett.
Nice looking Jimmy, but I saw 4 blue shirts who didn't move. You know, and that's not gonna be successful for them.
Well, they're going to get better as the season goes on, but at the same time, they're going to live and die by how well Jalil Abdul Bassett shoots the ball. That's just a fact of what the next 15 games are going to look like for them.
Mitchell flips it inside. Wagner catches, finishes, but they're going to call.
There's a 3-second on the
3-second foul.
It was a good call. Good patience from Rocky, though, offensively sharing the ball with the swing. Just unluckily, Wagner was there a bit long.
And they're going to pick Washington. They're going to pick Washington up full court.
That's a really bad foul from Rockhampton. It gives them the last possession of the half, which is good, but you don't want to get cheap fouls off the floor like that.
And in the bonus, too.
Yeah, they're in the bonus.
Well, that's why it's a bad foul. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Guys, want to thank our sponsors again, GDI Property Group and the Armstrong Partnership.
What do the old GDI property do, Johnny? Commercial, residential? It's all good.
We'll fact check that and come back for you and thank them again, maybe.
Absolutely.
All we know is that if you need property in Toowoomba, just talk to them. I'm sure they can organise something for you.
That's all you need to do. Call someone at GDI.
Well, thank you to the sponsors for bringing us out here tonight and allowing us to cover this game.
Yeah, absolutely contributing to the grassroots of hoops in Queensland.
Let's see if Toowoomba can get a stop to end the half here. Good ball movement leads to a Christensen three-pointer. It's off. Great board there by Watt. He spins, kicks it out. Wagner with the pump fake, going right at the defense and finishes strong. And that's going to send Rockhampton into the half up 44-43.
Wagner's been impressive, fellas. He just, I'm sure by his own admission, not the most athletic man in the world, but he just takes away and nullifies all the big fellas' athleticism down the other end by using his body, jumping into the shot blocker's chest in the last possession. Just a really skilled, crafty player.
And defensively, I don't know if it was by accident or intention, but the last time he did get a post catch, he saw 4 blue jerseys in his grill, and he had to get rid of it. They need to do more of that in the second half, I think, to try and limit his impact.
All right, guys, well, it is halftime, so we'll take a break. We'll come back with some halftime statistics for you just before the start of the third quarter. It's 44-43, Rockhampton over Toowoomba. here on Live Sport Australia, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media.
The Not in Our Club initiative is about local sporting clubs in the Toowoomba region really banding together to raise awareness about domestic violence, to promote supporting victims, to speak out against domestic violence, and really about changing the culture in our local community.
I think sometimes sport can be seen as a macho, a real physical type of environment that we're involved in, and maybe our responses in those circumstances aren't always about kindness and awareness of issues like domestic violence. So I think bringing Not in Our Club into the sporting communities shows that sporting people are aware of these very, very important issues that our communities are facing.
Police, other agencies, non-government agencies will all be involved in trying to support the sporting groups. We'll have champions from each type of sport promoting domestic violence awareness, speaking out against domestic violence, and really trying to change culture in the community.
Past High Hockey Club is extremely happy to be involved in the Not in Our Club initiative. The way that we conduct ourselves and can help other people conduct themselves is very important to us. We need to lead by example and help people who have difficulties in their lives.
Not in Our Club is about all sports, and whether it be soccer or whether it be rugby league or whether it be hockey, whether it be tennis, it doesn't really matter. It all means the same. Domestic violence is not on in any situation.
Not in Our Club connects with Not Now, Not Ever because it's about community responses to changing culture, and sport's a great way of doing that. It's about really sending that message that domestic violence won't be tolerated, that we will support anyone that's been the victim of domestic violence. It's about making sure people are respectful in their relationships, respectful to other people, not committing violence, and really making Toowoomba a safer place to live.
We have 1,700 staff at USQ, and I think that as a workplace we have an important role in having conversations with our staff so that they then take those conversations home. One of the biggest initiatives that we've got going at the moment is the 1 Million Stars project, where we are weaving 10,000 stars which will be displayed at the 2018 Commonwealth Games.
The display that we have here for 10,000 stars is a collaborative effort between USQ, the Toowoomba Catholic Schools and a local community group called the Star Weaving Fairies. I think it really comes down to raising awareness and looking at people reflecting as to what they can do to take a stand.
It's to promote a culture through USQ that even though there might not be a situation, you just never know if it would occur, to have our supervisors and managers aware of the process and the policies that can support staff through the process of being able to survive through their situation.
USQ is passionate about increasing awareness of domestic and family violence and making sure that we reach as many people as we can. It's about knowing that the support structures are there, knowing that our employees feel like they can be supported through this process, knowing that if they're facing adversity, that they have somewhere to turn to, someone to turn to. And I think that that's what's really important.
Well, we hope the university, with its campaign and becoming a white ribbon accredited workplace, will be able to assist in changing behaviours and attitudes. We believe that we will be able to make a contribution as we raise the profile of the issues.
Studies show that domestic and family violence is heavily connected to gender equity, and therefore if we are building an awareness around the value of respect, we are creating an equal platform for all of our employees, demonstrating that those healthy relationships need to grow on the basis of inclusion and respect for everyone.
It's educating USQ in creating a culture that violence is not acceptable, whether it's from males or females, and that we will not tolerate it.
Not now, not ever, in relation to domestic and family violence. That's a great future aim and ambition to have.
All over the state, Queenslanders are taking up the Not Now, Not Ever challenge to put an end to domestic and family violence. In our schools, in our sporting clubs, in our workplaces, and in our communities.
What will you do?
What will you do?
What will you do
During domestic
And Family Violence Prevention Month.
Authorised by the Queensland Government, Brisbane.
What's your name? Jed. Come on, Jed. It's Jed versus Toowoomba. The first one that goes in now wins the wallet. Does that! Big round of applause for Toowoomba. Now come over here, Toowoomba. Come over here. Come over here, Toowoomba. Put your hands behind your back. Now, if you catch this wallet before it hits the ground, you can have all the money that's in it. Okay, go low. What a blow. Give me a round of applause. You come with me. Hey, do you play Junior Mountaineers? Yes. Are you going to play again next year? Hey? Yes. Yes, sir. Good man. Give me a round of applause. Toowoomba. We've got to go to the bank and see if we can get some money out of the bank. Yeah, the bank. There's a bank out here somewhere. We're going to see if we can get some money. We're just going to show you how to do defense. 1, 2, 3, defense.
Welcome back, everybody, to Clive Berghofer Arena in Toowoomba. It's a 1-point lead for Rockhampton at the half, 44-43. Dave, you took a look at the statistics. What jumped out at you at the halftime?
Actually, my man Dan took a look at the stats, but I'll have a quick look now. I can see quickly that obviously the +8 is stands out for the Rockhampton Rockets in the rebounding count, which is where they're kind of dominating, I think, points in the paint. So I think that's one of the key things. Both teams aren't really getting to the bucket, but Toowoomba is 2 and 9 from the foul line. Not a great stat. Paul Lear's stand out for them so far, 15 points and 4 rebounds, and he's been great. And like we talked about a little bit, you know, what are you going to run to get some guys some touches? Obviously, Jaleel has had a rough first half, so hopefully that improves for him. And for Rockhampton, you got Wagner dominating 14 and 4 as well. He's been a great presence and really helping them ignite their offense.
Well, he's been great, and they're playing through the post, which has worked really well for them. We spoke pre-game as well about the depth, and that Rockhampton in previous years might have had a bit more depth than they do at the moment, but bench points 10-3 in Rockhampton's favour, so it's Toowoomba's depth at the moment that's a little bit lacking, if anything. So we've spoken about it a couple of times. I just want both teams, and I think everyone watching would love them, to come out and just execute, get through their stuff, run really good quality structured basketball, and know who you're going to get shots for and why you're getting them the shots and where. I think Rockhampton are probably doing a better job in that at the moment, especially with Wagner in the block.
Yeah, and I think I'd like to see James Mitchell get a few more opportunities as well. I think every time he touches it, he either puts the defense under pressure, which is what you want offensively, or he makes a play or makes the hockey assist. So.
And Abdul Bassett with 3 fouls has to be careful, but I'd love to see him be aggressive, get into the rim to start this quarter. See if he can get himself to the foul line, get a couple of layups. It's amazing how much that opens up and makes the jump shot more fluent.
Yeah, especially for their active front line. You know,
well,
then you can get offensive rebounds.
Well, get the ball in the rim, give him a chance to O-board.
To go get it, yeah.
I agree.
They were trying to fix the net on the Rockhampton end of the court here. I don't know if they were able to replace it.
I think that what they realised was Rocky's going that way, so they didn't care maybe. I don't know. Do you reckon? Or?
I don't know. If anything, the way that net's hanging, it's going to, I don't know if it has any impact at all, actually.
Well,
leave it.
It was ripped. I noticed that in the first half there, as Abdul Bassett steps back, can't finish.
Nice
looked all right.
Yeah, good move.
Well, they went to the ISO in the block, but again, step back jump shot. But if that's his game, I guess he's just got to keep shooting it.
Yeah, he certainly created good separation off the fake. And
there's Mitchell getting to the paint. He's bothered. Wagner, though, cleans up the Mitchell miss.
Well, that's always going to be tough, right? Because you got Aaliyah and Malik are going to go and try and shot block, but then you're leaving the big guy open. And if you don't communicate that too well, that's going to hurt him. So the activity's good in one breath.
But that's what Toowoomba have to do at the other end.
Yeah.
Mitchell gets to the rim. The shot blockers contest. Their bigs walk into O-boards. Washington, Abdul Bassett, these guys have got to get on the rim and give their bigs a chance to O-board as well.
Christensen wide open. That's a cash money jump shot right there.
Yeah, he has done really well.
48-43, so Rocky kind of edging forward here to start the third.
Just a couple of the brothers, just young locals, right, Johnny? Rockhampton products.
Young Rocky kids, yep.
Done a good job.
There's James Mitchell getting it over to Blanchard. He kicks it over. Christensen, baseline jump shot now. That's good as well. Gotta see. I gotta look at Christensen's statistics here because I don't know if he's missed.
And this is a danger sign for Toowoomba. Opening the quarter, down 7.
Yeah.
They've got to be careful here.
Yeah, Christensen's a perfect 4-4. There's Abdul Bassett. He slipped. Nearly traveled. Has the double pump. And he's forcing it, guys. And Toowoomba doesn't look good when he does. And then Mitchell gets an easy transition bucket. Coach Corcoran's going to have to take a timeout. Good timeout there as Toowoomba comes out really flat. And Rockhampton opens up a 9-point lead.
Yeah, and that's what good teams do. Start and finish quarters. We talked about 8-0 run quickly. Rockhampton looked like they're about to steamroll Toowoomba.
So they've obviously, Toowoomba at halftime said, fellas, we've got to get Julio going. Let's get him some looks. So they've done that, but they've done it by going ISO ball. There's 4 dudes standing around.
Yeah.
Long jump shots leads to rebounds and open opportunities in transition for Rockhampton. And Rockhampton looked great to their credit, but I'll speak up over this music. Toowoomba have to get Jalil Bassett shots in their offense.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that going ISO ball's the answer.
And I think the difference from last week too, Dan, is not a great deal of Washington penetration tonight. So that's the other factor is, for whatever reason, he's either not got the ball in his hands or he's not getting to the spots that he did last week.
Well, I think when Toowoomba has looked best is when Washington has gotten into the paint.
Yeah.
We've seen them go away from that because they're trying to get Abdul Bassett going, or Abdul Bassett is trying to get himself going here, and it's taken away from that dribble penetration that made them so successful early in the game and last week.
But Abdul Bassett didn't get going last week, which everyone's talking about. 8 threes, fantastic, but he didn't do it himself. It wasn't ISO ball.
No.
Step back, it was Jay Washington getting in the paint, kicking it out to a open or slightly contested three-point shot.
And they did it in transition too, right? Remember that third quarter
That's right.
where they had the blocks, they had the activity, they got stops, and they ran well, and then he just saw everything.
All right, well, let's see if the timeout helps the Toowoomba Mountaineers stem the flow here. There's Washington getting to the rim and laying it in. We said it, boys. Dribble penetration. There's Washington getting in the paint.
And they need a steady dose of that. Even if he's not finishing it, like we said, it gives their boys a chance to O-board. It collapses to D, which opens up a kick out, which is where Jalil Bassett did his best, knocking down open shots.
His crossover is nice. He's got it working the last couple of weeks. Snapping guys a couple times this week. This last couple games.
And again, I'll say it one more time. I don't know how Jay Washington was an SBL player last year. He's been a really good QBL player in the 2 weeks I've seen him. There's a three-pointer there by Cameron Weber. And again, things picked up out of the timeout. It's a 4-point lead now for Rockhampton over Toowoomba.
Yeah, Weber's hit his 2 of 4 so far. He's done his role, spacing the floor, trying to play good honesty.
And the thing that, at least with a young team, which Toowoomba are, and Rockhampton are as well.
Christensen finally misses one. Alir with the outlet pass just over the fingertips of Christensen.
There you go.
And Weber finishes.
Looked like
Great
Kevin Love
pass.
down there.
Yeah.
The thing that it does as well, when they come out, the last couple of possessions, Jay Washington crossover, a couple of on-balls to the rim, transition pass into a three. It gives them energy to go play defense.
Yeah.
That ISO ball just put a dead spot in their defense as well, and that's changed around totally in those last couple of possessions.
Watt, bit too strong. Alir kicks ahead. Nice pass. Washington loses it on the way up.
That's
he
a
wanted
foul.
the foul.
I think it's a foul.
I don't know if that is a foul, actually. I don't know.
Is that good D, though?
Mate, he shot that hoping for a call.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why. And I got to say it, Leon Christensen comes down and hits another three.
Well, he missed his last shot, Johnny, so.
Well, he didn't hesitate on that one. Washington teardrop gets the roll. Guys going back and forth. It's a three-point game here. Rocky in the lead.
I like the tempo from a fan's point of view. I don't know that it's exactly how Toowoomba wants to play.
Good hesitation dribble, and Malik kicks the ball, so that's a turnover. Going to reset the shot clock here, get back to 14 seconds.
The other adjustment they need to make is, again, James Mitchell, who, big fan, often he wants to dish. He's more of a playmaker than a scorer. So you've got to make the adjustment. They're over-helping. They're getting 3 blue shirts wherever James is, where you've got to stay home a little bit. He leaves his feet, get in the lanes, get the steals, and off you go to the races.
Skip pass to Young. Tough catch there for him. 8 seconds on the shot clock. It's in Mitchell's hands now. Christensen steps out of bounds, though.
I think we've got a new net ready for three-quarter time, fellas.
All right. That must have gotten ripped when Alir ripped down the rim. Washington feeling it. He's going to step back and hit the jump shot. The lead cut to 1. And Jay Washington heating up.
He's got a motion.
I love the Jalil is just as excited as he is. That's cool.
Another turnover. Kick ahead to Washington, up ahead to Weber. He's fouled from behind by Young. I thought they were going to get him for the. I thought he took an extra step there.
Love the response from Toowoomba to the 8-0 run. They've had a nice little run of themselves the last couple of minutes. Surprised Coach Tweedy hasn't maybe blown a time, but he's just going to ride it out, see how his boys respond.
And we thought it would be Abdul Bassett, but it's been the Jay Washington show to get Toowoomba back into this, guys. Showing a bit of confidence, like you said earlier, taking the jump shot that's given. They're giving it to him, and he's taking it.
Got to take it every time. And he won't make all of them, but like we've said a few times, it just opens the whole floor up for everybody else. And the more aggressive he is, the more open his teammates are.
I think the other thing, too, is, Ali has ignited the transition a few times, too, Johnny, and that's where Jay's benefited. Good D.
And Weber going to pick up the offensive foul call on Mitchell. Mitchell gets a warning from the referees, too. They don't want the complaining anymore. That's the second team foul on Rockhampton. And the third personal on James Mitchell. So we're under 5 to go. All night of that 55 here, guys. It's been a great game so far.
Yeah, the third quarter's certainly come alive with good back and forth from both crews.
Washington again in the paint. Can he get it to fall? He cannot. Wagner saves it going out of bounds. And here's Damon Christensen. Nearly losing it. Not sure what they're calling here. They're going to call Paul O'Lear with the body. Referees giving the, being quite nice. Everybody's having a whinge. Everybody's having a complaint. They're just saying, guys, settle down.
That's okay. I mean, I don't mind a little bit of that as long as it's respectful. But they're competitors. They're going at it.
Young loses it on the way up. Winds up in the hands of Christensen. That's an air ball. So in a game of ebb and flows, it's flowing the way of Toowoomba right now.
Well, and again, we haven't seen much from Jaleel Abdul Bassett so far. So hopefully Jay tries to run something for him and get him involved.
Well, here comes Washington. Picks up his dribble. In a bit of trouble here with 10 on the shot clock. Weber goes to the bucket. He's fouled by Young. He's going to go to the line for a couple shots.
I think a tech foul is coming in about the next minute because everyone's a bit excited and the ref's going to say, I'm in control. I've seen enough. Watching too much NBA, I think, everyone at the moment.
I think so.
Seriously, it's a foul, accept it, move on. You're not changing his mind.
Yeah, people forget you're allowed to make contact. It is a physical sport.
Yeah.
You can bump each other. And I think part of that is the referees too. I think they've done a good job tonight. They've been very consistent in their calls.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think nothing wrong with the refereeing at all.
So 1 of 2 there. It's a 56-55 lead for Toowoomba. Christensen definitely fouled on his way to the bucket. It's going to be, I think that's Washington's, only going to be his first foul on the scoreboard at least.
I don't know how he thinks that's not a foul. That's probably the most blatant foul of the night.
He's been aggressive. He's been aggressive on it, so.
I think a great shooter thinks every shot's going in, just like a great defender thinks they never foul anybody. Let's give the credit there.
Your boy Christensen, Johnny's come back in, and it was a good
right off the bench.
And it was a good contest.
Yeah, he's feeling it. That's for sure.
I'd like to see Jared Blanchard come back in for Rocky. I thought his energy was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like they're just flat.
Yeah.
He can come in, get out in the lanes, be a bit disruptive. I think it would really help him.
Washington's pass was tipped out of bounds off the hands of Rockhampton, so Toowoomba will maintain possession here.
Well, Christensen's having a sneaky little 14-point night on 6 of 7 and hitting a big 3, in Abdul Bassett's face.
Malik misses the double clutch, and then he picks up the personal.
When Toowoomba went on their run, I thought their offense looked great, which then fed into their really solid defense too. They've got to close the quarter the same way. Last couple of possessions just show signs of maybe getting away from that structure that looked so good earlier.
It's been a weird third quarter again because Wagner hasn't featured a great deal, and equally, Coach Corcoran's had a different lineup than last week, right? Where he had a really good third quarter and basically ended the game. And this has been he's obviously trying a bit, and still working out what his sub pattern is and who's can play together and what they're after.
Yeah, well, we see Joel Seaby. He didn't see much, if any, of the court last week. On the floor for Toowoomba now. You've got Ebneter, Washington, Abdul Bassett, Seaby, and that's Malik for Toowoomba. And then Rockhampton's got Watt, Mitchell, Christensen, Wagner, and the other Christensen. It's a 3-point lead here for Rockhampton, so they weathered the storm. They regained the lead here now. And Toowoomba loses the ball out of bounds. Too low.
I like his penetration, but like that was just a nothing play and a bad pass.
Bad pass. I think he's got to shoot that. Just get the ball up there on the rim. Let these young cats go get the board.
Wagner comes back in and grabs an O-board, spins baseline. The flip is no good. Watt comes down with it and finishes over Malik. And Rocky up 5 now. Trying to get Abdul Bassett going here. He's going to fire a 3 from the wing. That's short. Watt comes down with it. It's not a bad look. He just doesn't have it tonight, does he?
No, he's certainly come back to earth this week.
Christensen squeezes the pass into Wagner. He goes too strong. But Watt comes up with the offensive rebound. And the ball goes out of bounds off Rockhampton.
Good D from the Mountain men. Stay down, hands up, be physical.
Yeah, Rockhampton's bench thought it was a foul, but the referees did a good job letting them play, let it go.
Yeah.
Rockhampton initiated that contact.
Absolutely.
Washington gets inside, has to kick it out. Ebneter's going to fire a 3. That's an air ball. Watt comes down with it, and Rocky's off and running. Seaby going to pick up the foul. Tried to pick up the charge, but just was a bit too slow on setting himself. Guys, what's Rockhampton done to get back into it? Because Toowoomba came back from their deficit, took a quick little lead, but Rocky's back up now by 5, with an opportunity to go to 7.
I think they've just been, they've just sort of knuckled down and played pretty simple hoops, to be honest. Nothing crazy. Christensen's been really good with the ball. Looking to establish Wagner again. Just being really patient, I think. That's all. They're just seeing what the defense gives them and reacting. So other than that last bucket or that last missed shot where they tried to steamroll them a little bit.
Good defense there by James Mitchell.
Equally, fellas, with all respect to Coach Tweedy and Rocky, I think it's a bit of what Toowoomba have stopped doing as well.
Yeah.
I think they've got away from their sets, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but when they run their structures, they look really good. When they don't, it hurts their offense and their defense follows.
Yeah.
And that's an offensive foul there on Damon Christensen, just with the push-off.
The young fella's a bit frustrated, but there's nothing to be frustrated about.
Just want to thank our sponsors for tonight's broadcast, GDI Property Group and the Armstrong Auto Group. Thank you guys again for having us out here at Clive Berghofer Arena.
Commercial property is what they're all about. GDI Property, Johnny?
They do it better than anyone.
Absolutely. And a bit of love for Armstrong Auto Group too. Need a vehicle? Get down and see the Armstrong Auto Group.
Christensen going to fire a 3. That's Damon Christensen. He fires from 3. It's a 10-point lead. Rockhampton guys, with this young group, they've weathered the storm.
Were we talking about either of these Christensen boys in the pregame? Because they have been the difference so far.
Yeah, they've been real good.
Good defense there by Mitchell.
Great defense, but at least Abdul Bassett's going to the paint, which I like.
Malik skies for the rebound, but loses it on the way down.
Yeah, they got to get Paul Lear back in. It really hurt with him on the bench the last few minutes. And here's going to be another simple one.
Watt misses it, somehow comes down with it and puts it back up. That one misses as well.
These rims are unforgiving.
Washington looking to create the contact. James Mitchell.
He's going to get teed up. He deserves one.
Yeah, there you go.
And there it is. Jay Washington going to get called for the technical foul. He wanted the foul call. Well, what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what, Jay. Watch the tape. It's called outstanding defense.
We've got to take on the coach now too. Fellas, here's what I saw. I was praising Jay Washington last week. I thought he was great, but I thought that was pretty good D. Mitchell's a smart defender.
Yeah,
he's had his hands up. He was retreating. and you're down 10 at home, 9 seconds left, you get teched, there's 2 shots, 12 points. Then coach steps up, he gets teched. And then you get a possession too. This could easily go from a 10-point three-quarter time deficit to 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Quite easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christensen misses it. That's Leon Christensen at the free throw line. Missed the first one.
Yeah, and he's upset. That's fine, but he's got to be better than that. Plain and simple.
Well, we have a young team down there, right?
Yeah.
You look up to the imports as leaders.
Yeah.
Especially the floor general, the point guards. He's got to set the tone on the floor as a playmaker, but he's got to set the tone emotionally for this squad as well. And if he loses the handle, everyone else will too.
There's 8 seconds on the clock. Wagner gets it on the baseline. That's poor defense there. Wagner makes him pay. Then they get a steal. Christensen flips one up.
The way he's been going, that could have gone down.
I was prepared for it to go in. It doesn't. There's 0.1 second left. The clock finishes, and heading into the fourth quarter, it's a 13-point lead for Rockhampton, 69-56. Guys, we'll take a break. We'll come back with the final quarter action here on Live Sport Australia, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media.
For the Toowoomba team, 4 points to Jaleel, 10 points to Jay Washington, 3 points to Marty Nolan, 14 to Cameron Webber, 10 to Malik Mayo, and 15 to Paul Alia. Well, we've got the last quarter coming up, ladies and gentlemen. We just got to get this game going.
Welcome back to the broadcast of the Toowoomba Mountaineers versus the Rockhampton Rockets. It's third quarter time, the break, and it's a Rockhampton lead, 69-56. That's the championship quarter, guys. We say it every single week. Rockhampton weathered an early storm from Toowoomba. Toowoomba came back to take the lead, but Rockhampton stormed home, and they're up 13 at the quarter. Dan, let's take a look at some of the statistics for the game.
Well, a couple of things stand out, Johnny. Points in the paint, Toowoomba 22, Rockhampton plus 14. That's okay, probably. Foul shots, 4 of 13 for Toowoomba, 12 of 19. So that's another advantage for Rocky. But to me, rebounds, the total rebound count, fellas. Rockhampton has 39, Toowoomba 18.
Good job, Dan.
Was that good analysis?
That was excellent analysis. Dave, you want to touch on that as well?
No, we're good. We're good.
Drop the mic. All right.
Sorry, Johnny. I was just gathering my thoughts, and I sort of eavesdropped onto Coach Tweedy's huddle then, and basically a bit of more of the same was what he was saying. Kick it ahead in trans, play good D, share the ball. Pretty simple. They've been around. Coach Tweedy and Darren Richardson been around a while. They like to keep things pretty simple. Mitchell again in transition, great pass, but unfortunately Mr. Alir says, not in the mountain ranges, boys.
You saw that coming from a mile away. Washington, though, has his pocket picked. Great recovery there from Rockhampton. Good response from the Alir block.
You'd hope that sort of play gives these fellas energy because they are flat.
Nice.
Wagner with the travel.
You just feel the crowd here and the team as well. They're just looking for some energy, some motivation from somewhere. Hopefully that Paul Alir block can get them going.
They need, they need a big 3 minutes, I think, or it's lights out for Toowoomba. They need to make a stop, make a stand right now, get some consecutive stops, and again, get your Lil going.
And guys, just want to mention the program, Not Now, Not Ever, in support of the QPS there. We see the QPS in the corner. They're doing a great job. Support the cause, guys.
So how did the Neers get back in this game? Double D, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I think they did. They really, I like it. Well, offensive rebounds really helps the starters, but they got to get Bassett going. I mean, you got to get more. You got to get more than 4 points from the guy.
And how do they do that?
Well,
Because so far, just ISO ball's not working.
Yeah, but I think offensively they simply need to make it simple. So either get him into some on balls, but the weak side action is non-existent, and everyone just watches him and says, "I hope that he does the same thing he did last week for us." So they need to. I don't mind getting a bit more transition, swing, move the ball, get him into a late clock on ball, after we get a shifting Rockhampton defense. Good job from Alir. I think a deflection.
Yeah, good defense there by Alir. Let's see if it could convert on the other end. Washington throws it up. He's fouled on his way to the bucket, though, and he's going to go to line for a couple shots. Good defense, though. Like we said, it's starting. That's what Toowoomba was doing well. They were going from defense to offense well.
And they need to. I don't care if they're a bit light. Like let's be real. They're a pretty light group as far as they're tall and athletic. They need to be a bit more physical, a bit more angry, get a bit of physicality to them. I'm not saying they need to hold their ground against Wagner. That's not maybe real, but take the fight to Rocky a bit here.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, and I think that the two ways they got to get back into this, just to elaborate a bit further, the D on the last possession that we saw, they got to play more of that and let that fuel offense, which leads into stuff like this: transition layups, fouls, get to the foul line, open jump shots in trans. They need plenty of that. And in the half court, I'd like actually to see Joe Washington step off the ball for a second and Abdul Bassett work the on ball with the intention of coming off hard, turn the corner, get your feet in the paint. See if he can get to the foul line, get some mid-range J's going.
Well, he's 2 of 13, Dan, which is a bit of a shift from last week's performance.
Well, it's all ISO ball and step backs. He's got to be more aggressive, getting the better quality of shot, which I think is feet in the lane, get to the foul line, and coming off the on ball might let him do that. I'd sprint an on ball right here.
Yeah. On the other end, you see Wagner again doing his work in the paint. No double there from Toowoomba. They haven't made that adjustment.
No, they've got to. I mean, it was a nice jump hook. Good. We talked about it earlier. Good, deep, established post presence all day.
Well, he's a skillful player. As James Mitchell picks up his fourth, which is potentially going to hurt him. 7 minutes left. But Wagner's a skillful player. You've got to do your work early. Don't let him catch it so deep.
Good steal there from Rockhampton. Christensen has it. Good look inside. Reverse layup from Mitchell is good. Great look and a great finish from the Rockets.
Well, if we listen to Coach Thunder, then we need to get the ball out of Washington's hands. Like another turnover, just trying to do too much.
Well, I think let him play off the ball. Let Abdul Bassett work the side on ball. Let him come into the paint. If he doesn't have it, reverse it, then sprint to a second on ball of Jay Washington.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be running, that kind of action to make Rocky really play D.
I think they need to get Malik more touches as well. He's in double figures. He's got 15 tonight.
Especially because they've got Watt and Wagner as big guys, right? Get them out. Get them moving their feet. And the more athletic Toowoomba boys can take advantage of that.
And there was a bit of help there. We saw the double come late. It definitely affected Wagner's shot. Watt knocked the ball out of bounds, though, so Toowoomba has possession. 75-64 the lead. We're about 6:40 to go.
This is not good offense for Toowoomba. Just not pretty at all.
And Toowoomba forced into a last-second shot from Abdul Bassett there. Good transition offense and a great look there from Mitchell Wagner.
But see how bad offense feeds Rocky's trans-O? And give Rocky credit, they've actually looked really good.
Rocky has been great.
They know who they want to get shots and know where they want to get them the shots.
Yeah.
That's the difference. There's a bit more discipline, a bit more structured.
Yeah, just, again, we were just going to say the good poise from Rocky the last 5 or 6 minutes in particular.
Lead pass up ahead for Watt. He turns it over on the travel, guys. Coach Tweedy's going to take a timeout, so we'll take one as well. 11-point lead for Rockhampton. Guys, we'll come back shortly with the rest of the fourth quarter action for you. Back with you here at Clive Berghofer Arena. It's an 11-point lead for Rockhampton with 5:42 to go in the game. Coach Tweedy taking the timeout. What's he telling his troops, Dave? I know you've been snooping in and listening into those timeout huddles.
Yeah, it wasn't much different to the three-quarter time speech, and I think it's just more of the same. It's focus the boys. 5 minutes to go. Good energy on defense. Get stops. And the same poise offensively, and they'll be okay.
Just lost our camera signal there. Just pull it down.
Alair with the...
We're back. Sorry, guys. We lost our camera signal there for a second. But it looks like it's back in action. Apologies for that. No change in the score, 77-66, 5:20 to go in the game. It's an 11-point lead for Rockhampton.
Just got a wet spot on the floor that they're just cleaning up.
Good job by the boys coming out and cleaning up. 11-point lead, though, fellas. What do you think Toowoomba's got? Do they have the run in them to get back into this with 5:20 to go in the game?
The short answer is yeah, of course they do. They've got all the pieces out there with their big fellas. Paul Alair and Malik working inside. Abdul Bassett gets going. It's a couple of shots. They're right back in it. But I was not convinced that out of timeout play was what they would be running. I'm not sure they've got the structure in them this evening, but I just think they need to maybe say to Abdul Bassett, you're going to shoot 3 of 25 or you're going to shoot 10 of 25 and we're going to win or lose. That's really the only chance, I think, because they need his firepower to get back in it.
Do they need to go to the pressure yet? Good up and under there by Wagner. He has taken the Toowoomba Mountaineers big men to school.
Yeah, and again, they probably haven't played against, good quality bigs like that. He's patient, he's fundamental.
Well, they're going to learn they don't need to jump at every shot fake. That's one of the keys.
Again, we've lost our camera, guys. I'm going to call the action for you.
Well, it's a timeout, which helps us too.
Yeah, Coach Corcoran's going to take a timeout, so we'll take one as well. We're trying to sort out these camera issues for you here, guys. We'll be back shortly with the rest of the action. Apologies, guys, for the technical difficulties with the camera, but we're back with 4:30 to go. 79-66 the lead. Toowoomba's got to come out aggressive here. They got to try and force some turnovers to get back into it.
Yeah, they sure do. You wouldn't even be surprised if they start picking up a little bit early up the floor, put on some three-quarter pressure maybe. You don't want to leave that to the last minute or two. And with this lead now at 13 for Rocky, I think they've got to start to change things up and speed up the pace of this game a little bit.
I hope the fresh mountain air isn't affecting the camera signal, Johnny.
Could be. Who knows? First time at this venue. It's always interesting.
What is that?
We could have just seen one of the ugliest jump shots in the history of QBL basketball.
There's a Lear off the pass from Abdul Bassett. He finishes. It's 11 points to the lead now. We see Toowoomba dropping back into that half-court defense. Who are they getting for the foul there? They're going to give that one, it looks like, to
Malik, yeah. I think.
No, that one was Jalil Abdul Bassett. That's his 4th personal.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now. It's now or never. They got to make a run, and they need him in the game.
Here comes Mitchell. A lot of contact there. Great look inside for Watt. Oh! He's absolutely swatted by Jalil Abdul Bassett. Maybe that'll get him going.
Woohoo! Well, that's an amazing block, but man, if he's 1 centimetre off and that's his 5th foul, this game's over for Toowoomba. So give him credit for going after it and getting a clean play on defense.
Yeah, and Damon Watt he's hiding right now. I think he's a little embarrassed by that one.
Nothing to be embarrassed about. Not a good feeling when the guy that blocks you runs to the perimeter. If you're going to get blocked, you want to big the blocky, obviously, but take it up strong. Yeah. You're going to get blocked, you're going to score. So what? Next time, take it up hard again.
All right, we're back here now. Abdul Bassett's going to fire a jump shot that's off. He knew he was taking a shot after that big block. He's 2 of 15 tonight.
Yeah, rough debut performance for him up in front of his home crowd, that's for sure.
But a great player, fellas, is going to find a way to impact the game no matter what. His shot's not falling, and he hasn't really given much else. Yeah. He had a massive block, but I don't think he's got 10 boards. I'm not sure he's got 5 or 6 assists. You've got to find other ways to influence the game if his shot's not falling.
Weber answers with a 3 on the other end, cutting it to 10. Let's see if Toowoomba can get through with this one, guys. They haven't been able to get stops consistently, though. Mitchell's going to fire his own 3. That's off. Weber comes down with it for Toowoomba. He's streaking up the court, goes right at the defense. He's fouled on his way up. Let's see who they give this one to. It's going to go on James Mitchell. That's going to be his 5th personal, and he's done for the night. So James Mitchell going to check out at 2:44 left in the game with his team up by 10, 81-71.
Well, Blanchard's the obvious choice just so we can get a highlight to end this game.
Yeah, I'm with you, Thunder. I don't know why he hasn't had a huge amount of burn in the second half here. I think he did a good job when he was in.
He did, but I guess they've been playing well.
Yeah.
So you got to go with the guys who have it rolling, but he's a promising kid, definitely. He's got some talent.
And let's give credit where credit's due. James Mitchell has had the assignment on Jalil Abdul Bassett, and he's completely shut him down so far. Let's see if Rockhampton or someone on Rockhampton can step in the place of James Mitchell.
Well, and I think a little bit of a combo. I think he shut himself down a little bit too, right? Like, let's be honest. I don't think his shot selection was super duper tonight. I understand he's a scorer and he's going to get his volume, but I think, again, he's got to get at the foul line and get his shot going, see the ball going through. I just think that's where he could have been better tonight. Well, and again, it's his 3rd game, or 2nd game, sorry. So, I think he'll be better for it as well.
So Weber hit the 2 free throws. It's an 8-point lead now. Blanchard flips one up and in.
On cue.
Yeah, nice take.
He steps in. Just to that point, Abdul Bassett's 0 for 0 at the foul line. So your jump shot's not going. You're 2 of 15.
There you go. There's the layup.
There you go. Let's finish the game. You're only down 8. Let's finish the game like that. Being aggressive, get into the hoop, get into the foul line.
Rocky better be careful here to not fall asleep. I mean, you just lost your best defender. They get a couple of stops.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Alear tipped it out of bounds. They thought it went off of Rockhampton, but referees disagreed. So Rocky will maintain possession in front of their own bench with 12 seconds on the shot clock.
I personally would like a nice stop and a 3. Let's get this crowd pumped, and let's have a great 2 minutes to finish off here.
It's a decent crowd here tonight, but they're making plenty of noise. Young, too easy, goes right to the rim and lays it in.
Well, you're not going to win games with help defense like that.
Abdul Bassett skips it over to Washington. He'll fire a three. That's long. Alir, though, with the offensive rebound. He'll put up his own jump shot that's off, and Watt comes down with it. Probably not the second shot you wanted. The first one was all right.
Yeah, I guess you're down 10 though, so it wasn't a bad shot. I mean, he's had a great night so far. 8 of 10 from the floor.
Malik contests the shot, but he got him on the body. That's Damon Watt going to go to the free throw line for a couple shots here. Minute 30 to go, down 10, guys. If it's going to happen, it really, really, really needs to happen right now.
Yeah, I love Malik's effort tonight. Has been a 10 out of 10. I think he has battled and fought all night long. He's contested, done everything he could do, given up significant size to both Watt and Wagner, and he's done a great job.
And pretty impressed by Rockhampton's performance tonight also, guys. You know, again, didn't really know much what to expect from them. They had a tough first round loss to Mackay, but they bounced back last week and got the win over Gladstone. And they came in here tonight. They've been, as we expected, in a well-coached team. And the young guys been really impressive too.
Well, I think we've given young Leon plenty of love. I mean, his plus minus is 22 with him on the court, which is a pretty good sign. How when he's on the court, good things happen tonight for Rockhampton.
Yeah, and Coach Tweedy told me he was going to go with a bit of local flavor, young local guys.
Oh, gets the
they're
drop.
Rewarding him with a fantastic start to their QBL season and careers.
And it's been good too. He's had a good battle with Washington, and Washington's gone at him all night. All good learning for the young fella.
Washington finished with the foul. So it's an 87-77 lead. Hits the free throw, so it's down to 9. Got to pick up here. No time to set here. Malik had to reach. I thought he nearly had it there. There's the foul. So it's 2 shots. That's pretty much it, isn't it, fellas? What do you think from here? Do we call it a wrap?
Well, if they're going to foul, then why not foul at the 23 seconds to go shot clock? I mean, I think that's, again, a bit of an inexperience there from Toowoomba. Getting it down to 14-odd seconds, and then you just hack anyway.
Yeah, it's a tough one
it is,
in this situation. I guess you go for a quick steal, and if you don't get to steal right away, you might have to foul quickly. But, I mean, Wagner misses both, but you can't give up. I mean, the offensive board on a foul shot kills you at any time, but especially in a game situation like this.
Yeah, down 9. Seems quite tentative. Young's fouled on his way to the bucket, so again, he'll go to the free throw line for a couple shots.
I think they'll do enough here, Rocky, to close this out. And again, good momentum like we talked about at the start of the game around integrating the troops. And off to Ipswich they go tomorrow.
It's always tough to back up. How did you prepare for back-to-backs, Thunder?
Well, I actually think the back-to-back, the second night's the easy one to play on many occasions. Like today, they've flown, they've got a bus, they've travelled up the mountain. I mean, it's nice to get away with the boys. They'll probably do a really quick recovery after the game tonight, have a good sleep, get a good meal. I mean, it's 45 minutes down the road to Ipswich. Have a nice, relaxing day tomorrow. Maybe get a few shots up if there's a ring available. It's just a nice game day, whereas the first day...
Abdul Bassett hits a 3. Looks like there was a foul called somewhere also.
I think there's a push underneath. Paul Alir might have pushed to foul himself out of the game, but the 3 should count. But, I mean, Rocky, from what we've seen tonight, they'll get the win tomorrow night as well, you would expect. I mean, Ipswich will be ready. They've had a really good start to the season, but personally, I think the second night's the easier one of the 2 on a back-to-back.
Yeah, and I think the Watt-Wagner combo is, again, if I'm Tweedy, Coach Tweedy, is what's going to be the staple tomorrow night. I mean, the Ipswich are going to struggle to try and defend them.
Yeah, they will.
Those two boys.
Mitchell will probably guard Legan, you'd expect, or Harvey, and those guys are going to get their points simply because they take so many shots. They're going to get theirs, but he'll make them make them work hard for it, and that's really all you can ask. So, I mean, Rocky, I didn't know much about him coming into tonight. I haven't seen him in person, but they've looked pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'll give them credit.
Yeah, very impressive performance from Rockhampton. A lot of people thought they would struggle with the movement, with the youth movement, but back-to-back wins now in the QBL. They're 2-1 in a familiar spot for Rockhampton and Rockhampton Rockets. Timeout taken on the floor, guys. We'll take one as well. There's 38 seconds or about 40 seconds to go in the game. We'll come back with the finish and some statistics for you here on Live Sport Australia, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back here at Clive Berghofer Arena in Toowoomba, it's a 90-81 lead for Rockhampton, guys. Let's take a look at some of the team statistics for both squads here. Rockhampton super efficient tonight, guys. 53% from the field. As Malik gets the offensive rebound and put back. 7 points, 37 seconds. I don't know, fellas. I don't know. Can it be done? It can be done, obviously, but it's going to take a lot.
Well, they need a quick turnover here from Rocky, so they need some great pressure. All they need to foul quick and hope for 2 more misses at the foul line. That's really the only option. They need 2 or 3 more possessions to tie this up.
Malik does finish. 6 points, 37 seconds. Coach Tweedy wants a timeout. He's going to get one. Let's keep it here, though, fellas. Good timeout by Coach Tweedy. He wants to get his troops back in order. Guys, it's only 6 points, as we hear the announcer saying. He's going to remind his troops of that.
No doubt. But they've got to be careful not to leave the door open for Toowoomba here, but it's up to Rocky to lose it. There's not a lot Toowoomba can do, really. They've got to foul quickly if they don't get a quick steal. So Rocky, just be strong with the ball. If they get to advance it here to the front court, you would think, which makes it easier for them. They just got to get the ball in and expect to get fouled.
Do you foul here in this situation? I mean, there's 37 seconds left. You're down 6.
I wouldn't.
Foul puts him at the free throw line?
If I was Toowoomba, I probably wouldn't foul. Well, it depends. Looking at the clock, 37 to go. I'll just try and play him straight up, personally, and see if you can get a stop, come down the other end, get a bucket, and then you might foul after that next score if you can get it done.
Dave?
Yeah, they gave a little bit of Toowoomba their own medicine. 40 no boards for Rocky, and they've really significantly out-rebounded them in the second half, and I think that's been a big factor. Those second chance points where, in particular, Watt's been good crashing the glass for them, and that's hurt them, I think, and giving them some little cheap ones.
Do you foul here if you're Toowoomba, Dave? 37 seconds left, down 6?
I think I'll go a couple of quick traps and see how we go.
There's the foul, going to put Leon Christensen to the free throw line tonight. Christensen from the free throw line is 6 of 8, so for 75%, not bad.
Not bad indeed, and again, really good night for him. Sharing the ball, a bit of everything. 5 boards, 4 rebounds, 25 points.
Top scorer in the game.
On 10 shots.
It's impressive.
Really impressive performance from the young fella.
And another O-board.
And
that's just the killer
again.
there.
If that happened in the first quarter, you'd be upset.
Yeah.
Let alone at this stage of the game.
Well,
and that kills any chance of a comeback
now. Is that
now.
the third in the last, literally few minutes?
It's the second that Blanchard's got just himself.
Young at the free throw line, misses the first one. It's got to be a good feeling, though, boys, to come down here, land a few hours ago, and go back to wherever you rest in your head tonight with the win.
Yeah, and they've got to be pretty happy with how they've played. I think they did a good job on Bill Bassett. They minimised Washington's penetration a little bit, and good crowd here from Toowoomba, and I hope they continue to get out and support their crew, the men and the women this year.
Yeah.
Well, just on that, Dave, this is still a young Toowoomba squad, and we had big expectations just on the back of what they did last week. But these guys are going to get better and better, and they've got a lot of talented kids. The imports are good. Not the best showing tonight, but still 2 good imports. And these young big fellas like Paul Lear and Malik and these kids, they deserve to come out and be watched because they bring a lot of energy and a lot of really good stuff every week.
Where's Toowoomba go from here, though, Dave? They just draw it up as not our best performance?
I think so, and I think they need, you know, it's great that Abdul Bassett was nice last week. I think tonight has shown they need a little bit more than good transition. They need some offensive sets that can get some of the guys a bit more specific looks. When the Jalil, you know, show isn't working so well for them. But yeah, they're okay. They didn't play great. I think they were in the game the whole way, and just a bit of execution at key point.
Well, I think that's what they'll learn from. The need to execute and get the right guy's shots in the right way. Not ISO ball, not one pass shot.
Yeah.
That's the thing they'll take away from tonight, hopefully, when they watch the tape.
And, sorry, that's not under Dan. Defensively, the bigs hopefully learn a little bit from Watt and Wagner. You can't let them have that deep post catch. It's lights out. So they need to work on how they're going to push them out and how they're going to defend teams that have some big guys.
And next weekend is a bye weekend for most teams. Next weekend you have the one matchup which it will present for you. Next Friday night it's the Ipswich Forest versus the Logan Thunder. Everyone else is on a bye next weekend. So this is the one matchup for Toowoomba this week. And as you said, tomorrow Rockhampton goes to Ipswich to take on the Force as well. So Rocky, tough opening loss to Mackay, but it's bounced back with a couple of nice wins. And they'll have an opportunity to make it 3 games tomorrow versus Ipswich. Ipswich started the season pretty good. They're undefeated 2-0. But this is probably going to be the best team they've played thus far in the season.
Yeah, and it'd be, I'm pretty sure that James Mitchell's pretty keen on lacing them up tomorrow night and going at James Legan and the Ipswich crew. Yep. And seeing if he can shut him down.
Yeah, and that's going to be the final buzzer, guys. 96-87, the final score here. Rockhampton's going to get the win. Pretty big win for Rockhampton, guys. We've said it all, so we won't go into any of the analysis, but let's take a look at some of the final statistics. You look at the final statistics here for the game, and Rockhampton shot 53%, 35 from 3, and only 63% from the free throw line. But, guys, they got to the charity stripe 33 times. That's pretty impressive. Out-rebounding Toowoomba, which we thought might be one of the areas that Toowoomba would have the advantage. They out-rebounded them 48-29. And you look at the turnovers, Rocky, probably a few things to work on. They turned the ball over nearly 20 times.
Yeah, and again, that's just some of that experience and coming together. So I think they'll both improve. Again, we're only early in the season, so they're still working out some of that stuff.
Yes, and then you look at Toowoomba, 47% from the field, only 34% from 3, and they shot 9 of 20 from the free throw line. Turnovers were only 14 for Toowoomba, so they did look after the pill quite well, but they just gave up too many offensive rebounds, and they couldn't really get Jalil Abdul Bassett on track.
No, I'm glad he hit his last couple, which will hopefully see him in good stead for coming weeks too, Thunder.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously too late tonight, but always nice to see the shot go down. But they just got crushed on the boards. We've covered it all, fellas. But, again, lots of positives from both squads and just another quality QBL match and what's shaping up as a really good league.
Yeah, so let's wrap things up. We've got to thank our sponsors again, GDI Property Group, Armstrong Auto Group, Clive Berghofer as well. Thank you to Toowoomba for inviting us out here. I got to thank Chris Sieber on the camera, Regan Baker on the production panel, Dan George, Dave Derwin, my co-commentators. Guys, don't forget to tune in tomorrow night. We will be live as we have the QBL Grand Final rematch between the Cairns Marlins and the Brisbane Capitals. Tune in on the Basketball Queensland YouTube channel. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you again tomorrow night. Thanks again, guys.